These are this afternoon's top stories. Minister Brantley discusses foreign policy issues in the region. Jagdeo banned from leaving Guyana without permission. And heatwave stifles India. Good afternoon and welcome to ZIZ Midday Newscast for today, Tuesday, 26 May 2015. I'm Carla Berridge. In national developments, Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable Mark Brantley was among the delegates who participated in the 2 days of intense deliberations on pressing foreign policy issues in the region. This came during the 18th Caribbean Community CARICOM Council for Foreign and Community Relations (COFCOR) that was held in Rodney Bay, St. Lucia. Senior Foreign Service Officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Neris Dockery, also attended the meeting. Meantime, Foreign Minister Brantley also participated in the inaugural meeting of the Council of Ministers of the OECS. That meeting preceded the COFCOR meeting. It launched the regular cycle of meetings of the Council of Ministers, which will now take place in order to formulate an OECS caucus and identity on foreign policy issues within CARICOM. Minister Brantley, who attended the meeting for the first time, said he welcomed the opportunity to deliberate in caucus with regional counterparts and was sincerely enlivened by the camaraderie that was felt among his peers, the warm hospitality of his St. Lucian hosts, and the incisive, focused discussions that ensued over the two-day meeting. The Brimstone Hill National Park is this year celebrating its 50th anniversary under the theme Restoring, Preserving and Managing Our Heritage. As part of the celebrations on Saturday evening, tribute was paid to the founding fathers of the national park. President of the Brimstone Hill Council, Sir Probin Innes, spoke of his vision for the coming years.
My vision, of course, is that in addition to all of the many attributes of Brimstone Hill, that one day we might see at Brimstone Hill a place reserved as a kind of Mecca, a very sacred place where people will come to look and to marvel at what was achieved by our ancestors under conditions of slavery. And we say to ourselves today, if they were able to achieve so much under such conditions, how much more can we achieve today?
The Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park is a UNESCO World Heritage Site of historical, cultural and architectural significance. An international press group that visited Taiwan continued meeting with officials last Wednesday to look at innovations in transportation that focus on environmental sustainability. Jason Davis was part of that group and filed this report.
The week-long press tour continued on Wednesday with visits to two institutions centered around popular modes of transportation in Taiwan that are also environmentally friendly. The group first visited Pacific Cycles, one of the largest bicycle manufacturers in Taiwan that also provides research and development facilities for over 40 brands worldwide. The company has also established a museum chronicling the history and evolution of the bicycle. President of Pacific Cycles, George Lin, took the group on a tour of the facility, showing them the newest innovation in folding bicycles. He said the brand Birdie has been very popular and was redesigned to be stronger and fold even smaller. The group got a chance to test ride the newest models and try out a device that turns a standard bike into an exercycle. Lin says he's passionate about the bicycle because it not only saves the environment, it's a social device that brings people together. And from pedal power to scooters of the future, the group visited the home of Gogoro Smart Scooters. A company representative said the electric scooter hasn't really taken off because consumers find recharging to be inconvenient. However, Gogoro plans to launch a network of charging stations similar to gas stations.
Our battery plugs into the GO station. So you don't have to worry because it will wait you for 50 seconds. And first things, they say, "Hello Sam." You will identify who you are and you will upload your information, including your speed and your high speed and your average speed over here and your miles, you will go on the cloud and then download into the new battery over here.
The smart scooters are still in development at the moment, but are expected to hit the Taipei market later this summer. Jason Davis for ZIZ News.
A look at news on the regional scene. Guyana's former president, Bart Jagnew, has been banned from leaving the country without permission as a Berbice magistrate looks at a private criminal charge brought against him for uttering racially divisive statements. Mr. Jagnew initially tried to avoid appearing in court, but the magistrate threatened to issue an arrest warrant.
It was high drama in the WIMS Magistrate Court today, and all because of former President Bart Jagnew's initial hesitation to appear before relatively unknown magistrate Charlene Ortega. When the case was called, Mr. Jagnew was a no-show. The magistrate then ordered that he show up to face her, and if he refused, she would issue an arrest warrant for him. The former Attorney General Anil Nandlal and Attorney Perry Gosai transmitted the magistrate's message, and Jagnew raced down to the magistrate's court, with the magistrate saying she would wait however long he took to travel to WIM from his East Coast Demerara residence. While in court, Mr. Jagnew was not required to plead to the charge brought against him for uttering racially divisive statements at an event at Babujan 2 months ago. All the former president had to say was that his address was Sparendam on the East Coast. The preliminary inquiry into the matter will begin on June 23rd. Until then, the magistrate ordered Jagnew not to leave the country without her permission. Mr. Jagnew is charged under Section 139D of the Representation of the People Act, Chapter 102. He was released on his own recognizance and instructed to be back in court for the start of the preliminary inquiry. Mr. Jagnew's statement at Babujan, which was widely reported in the media, was not condemned by his party, the PPP, and the Media Monitoring Unit of the Guyana Elections Commission later said it was racially divisive. Again, the PPP defended Jagnew and went on to criticize the MMU instead.
The arrest of a Jordanian businessman in Antigua for his alleged involvement in the 1992 murder of his wife has sparked off a chain of events no one saw coming. The proprietor of Ayush Beauty Supply and Beyond Morad, Ashut Ghonim, has been arrested by U.S. officials who are now questioning him about the 1992 shooting death of his then 17-year-old wife, Maria Victoria Ghonim. In March this year, 42-year-old U.S. resident Leon Martinez was convicted for killing Ghanim's deceased wife. During the trial, Ukaipa Daily News reported that the court held evidence that the victim's husband might have been involved to the extent he was the one who allegedly paid Martinez US $500 to have his wife executed. On Friday, Antigua and Barbuda's cabinet declared Ghonim persona non grata. The very day of the cabinet decision, Ghonim appeared before the court on a charge for remaining in Antigua and Barbuda after the expiration of a permit between February 3rd and May 20th, 2015. Chief of Immigration Lieutenant Colonel Ival Walker testified that he knew Ghonim was out of time and he was assisting him since his problem was related to the reported theft of his passport since November 2014. By evening Friday, Cabinet had issued another order which brought to an immediate end Lieutenant Colonel Walker's term as Immigration Chief. Both Prime Minister Gaston Brown and Immigration Minister Stedroy Benjamin confirmed that Colonel Walker had been reseconded to the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force. Internationally, more than 500 people are dead as an extreme heat wave continues to stifle India. The details in this report.
More than 500 people are dead after an extreme heat wave stifles India. Officials said most of the deaths have been of construction workers, the elderly, or homeless people in the southern part of the country. The hottest city was Allahabad in northern India. Temperatures there hit 47.7 degrees Celsius on Sunday. A sister at a missionary caring for the elderly says dehydration and illness are top concerns for residents.
This year, summer is very severe. Due to that, our people are getting dehydrated and they are facing so much of feeling like fainting, and they are feeling very sick. Early morning, Already by 8 o'clock is very severe heat.
The Indian Meteorological Department has issued a red warning to affected regions and say the heat wave could continue in the coming days. The government said they'll give families of those who died about $1,500 in monetary compensation.
A powerful tornado has killed at least 13 people and injured hundreds more in the Mexican border city of Acuna. The twister ripped through the city in northern Mexico, destroying dozens of homes and cars. Adam Rainey reports.
The damage left in a tornado's wake. The storm struck just after 6 in the morning. It was labeled a Category 4 storm with winds in excess of 300 kilometers per hour. Experts here at Mexico's National Meteorological Service tell us that tornadoes are extremely rare in Mexico. Civil protection officials went on to tell us that there isn't even a system of alarms in place and people weren't prepared for what hit them. In addition to the dead, more than 180 were injured in the storm. At least 350 homes were damaged. The governor has visited the scene, assessing the damage. It's being called a national disaster. And as the search of the debris goes on, the authorities say the death toll could rise. Adam Rainey, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.
Turning to the weather. Winds today are east-southeast at 7 to 14 miles per hour. Seas are moderate with heights less than 1.2 meters or less than 4 feet. In the weather summary today will be partly sunny with a 30% chance of showers. Tonight we can expect partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. Sunset for today is expected at 6:39 p.m. and the sunrise for tomorrow will be at 5:36 p.m. The weather brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Barrage.